Hello, and welcome to Tech Tip Thursdays. I'm here to talk to you a little bit about a tool that I use a lot of, and that is Google Forms. So, I'm not going to be able to cover everything with Google Forms today, but I am going to cover a few things that I think make it a lot easier. Of course, you can always start with the blank one, but I usually start with the assessment. That one works for me, but I definitely do like starting with a template that already has some things set up. So, if I start with the assessment, and it is going to take it a couple of minutes because it is setting up this form. It already has the name and the email on here. I think that's sort of redundant, so I usually delete the name. And one thing that I don't do is I don't require questions. If they don't want to answer, then I don't make them answer. So I'm going to come over here to settings, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to go to form defaults. Oh, question defaults, I'm sorry. And it's not supposed to be making questions required by default. So that's obviously just a setting in this form. Another thing that I like to do when I set it up is I go to the response thing, and right here you can link it to a Google Sheet. So once you have responses and you click in here, it'll go to a sheet. But this is the one I really like to do. I come up here and I get email notifications for every response. So now whenever anyone fills out this form, it's going to send me an email, which is really nice because that's like a reminder to grade something. Because Lord knows they forget to turn them in Google Classroom. So coming back to the questions, you have all the standard question types, multiple choice checkboxes. I think at a later time I will go over some of these and talk about some of the more complicated ones and how to use these to your best to best benefit you. The nice thing about multiple choice is it can grade itself. So if I click on answer key, it shows that this one is the correct answer, and it gives a chance for feedback. And I do like to give feedback. I might give a quote from the text that explains why this answer is right, or step them through something if that's the way I need to explain it. So I highly encourage you to use this feedback feature um, because it helps students not just to practice, but to see what the right answer is and practice in that way. So I highly encourage that. One thing I will warn against is I usually try to keep them to 4 to 10 questions because any more than that, and I feel like it gets very cumbersome. With one exception, sometimes I've done branching forms where they're sort of going on an adventure with the form. So the nice thing now is that students can save as they work. So if they start a form one day, they come back to it the next day, it will save their answers for 30 days. It only saves it for 30 days though. So let's say this form is all ready to go. I'm going to press send. I could email it, but what I usually do is I grab this link and I just copy and paste it and give it to people so they can fill out the form. So that sending out is really easy. We go to send, we get our link, we copy it and send it out. If you have any questions about some of these basic things with Google Forms, let me know.